Hi, my name is Kiera. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Kiera. I post fashion and beauty content here on YouTube and over on my Instagram. If you're not new here, hello, you beautiful, warm caramel apples. How's it going? Today's video, I'm going to be doing a get ready with me again because, you know, they're easy to film and this was kind of requested. So I'm going to be doing a get ready with me of all of my recent favorites, go-to products. I'm going to kind of talk through them as well because I recently posted a video of like using makeup that I hadn't used in a while. You know, just kind of talk about them and talk about other random stuff as well too. So we're going to do the opposite. Instead of old stuff that I haven't, or things that I just haven't touched in a while, we're going to do things I touch all the time with my fingers. So I already have my skincare on. If you're wondering about what my actual morning skincare routine is that I use for underneath my makeup to achieve a nice, even, glowy, wonderful base, the link will be up in the eye in the corner there as well for you. So go feel free to peruse, check that out if you want to see that. And without further ado, we will go ahead, jump on into this video. Actually, my go-to primer recently has been this one. Oh, also, all of the makeup details will be listed down in the description bar below. I'm gonna try to link stuff, since I feel like that's probably more helpful than me just linking or just having a list of all what I used and actually linking to products that you can get at the moment. So I'll try to link everything. But recently I've been using this product. I don't know if you'll see that. Using this is the Laneige Glowy Makeup Serum Priming Base. This gives me a really nice, like, even base, and it also helps my makeup last a really long time as well. Which, not that like my makeup doesn't ever last, but I can tell like a difference. Like, this is like one of those sorts of glowy primers that actually does something for the skin, because I find a lot of glowy primers will, yeah, make my skin look luminous, but they don't, like, then I feel like my makeup kind of slides off of my face just as fast as it would with any other primer. And it's like, yeah, I love to be glowy as someone with dry skin. Let me look properly hydrated at all times. That is 100% what I aim for. But if it's not helping my makeup last any longer, I beg to question what's the point. So I have a few things like I think would be fun to kind of talk about. So I feel like oh, another recent favorite, I guess, but brows are one of those products that, like, I don't pay that much attention to it. I just kind of have the same sort of product. I'll try different brands ones, but like I actually really like this one. I do think it's discontinued though. This is the NARS Brow Defining Cream in the shade Dana Kill. This is, I feel like it's discontinued, or at least in this shade. I can't find it online in this shade, but they have similar looking shades online, which again, I'll try to link down below as well, because I saw it on like Nordstrom Rack. But I think it's in like lighter shades than this darker brown shade I have. So brows, I don't really care too hard about brow products. Similar to how some people don't really care too much about like a primer or anything like that. They just have one that's a go-to that does what they needed to do and they don't really venture out anywhere else. I'm that way with brow stuff. I don't really care too much because I do my brows in the exact same way every single time that I do my brows. So I don't really care too hard about what product I'm using, which is why I only have one. And it does what I needed to do, and you know, we're good. I remember when I first started wearing makeup, because fun fact, I was not actually allowed to wear makeup until I was 16. That does not mean I wasn't wearing makeup. I was practicing with my mom's makeup at home, alone, by myself or whatever, behind their back. So that's why I'm really good at eyeliner, is because I would practice with eyeliner and like eyeshadow and stuff like that, like when I was like mega young. You know, and that was way before I was ever actually allowed to wear it outside the house. So I did also have an awkward makeup stage where you could tell like I was throwing everything in my face, but y'all would have never seen it. Nobody else would ever have seen it because I never left my house because I knew I wasn't allowed to actually wear it. So by the time I actually did start wearing makeup, I already had experience with it and already knew like kind of what I was doing. YouTube was also not a thing when it came to like beauty content when I was like younger. Like it wasn't like as big of a thing, I think. It was there, but like I don't remember people like being super into makeup, or at least I know I wasn't when I was like first getting into makeup. How I actually got into makeup is actually one of my huge fashion inspirations, Luana Perez. She had a fashion blog called Le Happy, which she still has, I think, but I don't think she posts on there as much as she used to. But I remember running home every single day to read her blog every day in high school. And she had a signature look when it came to like makeup, which was like basically just like a makeup look that you could wear, like that she would wear anytime and it would look the same, which was great. Because if you're someone who posts content online, batch taking photos is literally the biggest lifesaver when it comes to creating content. Because it means that you can take a ton of pictures and content, photos and videos and stuff like that all in one day. And because the look that you have on is like basic enough, or like there's nothing super particular about what you have on that day in and of itself, you could take a bunch of photos and nobody will really notice that they were all taken on the exact same day. So currently, my favorite has been the NYX Born to Glow. I am in the shade Nutmeg. This is actually a really good match for me. With Luana, she always had like a signature look for her makeup, and it was always kind of like pretty basic, sometimes like taupey brown eyeshadow, and then for lipstick, it was always like a dark red. And I remember before I ever got into makeup, I actually did not like lipstick. I don't know. I thought lipstick just was gross. It grossed me out for some reason. And lipstick actually wound up being one of the first things when it came to makeup that I got really into, because through looking at fashion bloggers and stuff, and I got into like fashion and like really finding my aesthetic around when like the new era of like grunge became a thing. I almost don't even want to call it grungy. I almost want to call it like just alternative, like a light alternative, diet alternative. Simply because I don't know, like it's got elements of like 90s fashion in it, like, you know, flannels, oversized things, more like comfort versus like necessarily looking like super fashionable. But like in general, I don't know if I would call it grunge, because a lot of the fashion in that doesn't really look messy enough or like really super reminiscent of the 90s, you know? But I think it's cute regardless. But I remember when that was really becoming a thing, and that's when I got into makeup. And I don't know, I really liked the statement lip. I liked the basic rest of the face, because I also was terrified of wrongly shade matching myself to foundation. Because when I first started wearing makeup, I only really was into like eyeliner and lipstick. There is no worse feeling than thinking your face matches the rest of your body, and you take photos or you go outside and you look like one shade here and a whole other shade the rest of your body. And it's like you clearly then can tell that you have on a mask of foundation that you did not take down your neck, and I refuse to take makeup down my neck. You actually probably just notice like the furthest down I go is like on the side of like my jawline here, and that's because it doesn't matter what foundation. I feel like I just tend to always break out if I do take it all the way down my neck, so I just prefer to just correctly match myself. I actually own like 2 concealers, and I actually rotate between 2 of them pretty often, and it's the NYX Born to Glow concealer in the shade beige. This is I think like 2 or 3 shades lighter than my actual shade in the foundation, and that's simply because I prefer to go about 1 to 2 shades lighter for my under eye, but I also want my under eye to have like a yellow undertone to it to kind of cancel out any darkness that may be under there, and it matches better because my undertone is actually olive. Like I'm a pretty strong olive with my skin tone, so I just prefer for my concealer to kind of match that. It would look weird if my under eye was randomly pink, so I like this one, though it sounds like it'd be super light, but on me it's actually quite flattering and doesn't look as intense as this one does. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I actually really like this concealer. It's actually really good. I almost want to get it in like a shade or 2 deeper. There's one shade of this, I think it's called Tan Sands, which I thought was going to be the best one because it had an olive undertone to the color, and I'm like, oh, this is great. But it's online only, and at the time I didn't want to order makeup to come to me because I only wanted like 2 or 3 things from Ulta. That doesn't make enough sense to place an order now, does it? Of course not. So I actually kind of don't really like the what was I gonna say? The sponge on this. Not really a fan of it. I don't know. Oh damn, I forgot. I wanted to try a different concealer technique, which I've seen some people do where they do it like right here and then right here. And it does actually kind of work. Kind of set that my concealer down so that way it's not super wet. I'm going to be taking the same powder I always use, which is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder in the shade 330. And I'm going to take this very, very lightly on what is considered a foundation brush, but I don't use it for foundation at all. And I'm basically just going to very lightly tap that in areas where like I know I would 100% crease with the concealer if I didn't set it. Like one major area is like right on the side of my nose here. It creases really bad because like I have smile lines a bit, like, you know, when I smile, and then it like gets right in there. Boom. So now that that's set, the next step I'm actually gonna go and do is do my bronzer, which, oh, I love bronzer. It makes me so happy. I own like 4. Don't talk to me about it. Do I have a problem? Maybe. But bronzer is quickly becoming one of my favorite things to actually purchase when it comes to makeup. I have a few bronzers on my wish list currently of what I want to try next, but it's also like I have 4 bronzers. I'm gonna need to finish a bronzer before I buy a new bronzer. I'm not a beauty channel. Like, that's not my main shtick. So it doesn't make sense for me to have like 10 different bronzers. Like, why would I do that? My current favorite bronzer, I have this one in 2 different shades. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills powder bronzer in the shade Cappuccino. I also have it in the next darkest shade, which is Mahogany, which I can get away with when I'm a little bit more like tan, brown, or when I just want a more intense bronze, because that one's definitely more red based and this one doesn't look as red based on me. It looks more like, this is a light bronze. This is like an everyday casual bronze, like I'm just, you know, putting it together kind of bronze. But when I want a more intense, bronzy, glowy kind of look, I can go for Mahogany. But that also should say something a little bit more about the shade range, because we see what I look like and I should not be able to use the 2 darkest shades of your bronzer. But that's a conversation for another day. So recently I've been watching a ton of stuff on Netflix. I feel like I'm always talking about shows that I'm watching, but it's because it applies. I am watching things on Netflix. These are facts. I'm currently watching Lucifer. I'm in season 2. Okay. It's a really easy show to watch because you don't really have to pay super hard attention to the show itself of like what's fully going on to like know what's going on, if that makes sense. It's like one of those shows or like movies that you could put on in the background while you're doing something else, and like it's entertaining, but like you don't have to like stare at the screen to like get the gist. So I like it. It's one of my like go-to shows for like days when I'm at work to like kind of have playing in the background basically, or just like going like while I'm just like in between tasks or something. So I really like the show for that. And it's like a really good one. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills, again a blush trio. This is in the shade Cocktail Party, and I'm only going in for this brownish looking shade. It's actually really like kind of neutral, and it doesn't look brown on me. Of course, it actually looks reddish, like pinky reddish, but it's more like a light blush. Like it doesn't look like, oh, she's like super flushed or anything like that. It just looks nice. I don't know if you could even really see that because of the lighting, but yeah, so I like that show. I've been watching Sword Art Online again, which y'all can try to spoil that for me all you want. I don't care because I've already seen it. This is not my first time watching the show. I only started watching it again because I wanted to watch an anime, and that's actually, it's probably one of my favorite animes. I don't know, but I also feel like there's so many animes out there that I haven't watched that I'm I want to watch, that I've heard of, that I almost feel like I shouldn't even have a favorite. Like, I shouldn't even say, like, it's my favorite, because it's like, girl, you know nothing about what you're talking about. But I do really like Sword Art Online, so I'm watching it again, and I'm having a blast. Oh my gosh. It's nice though whenever you're watching a show that you've already seen before, and they're entering like a dangerous area, and they're over here like, oh, we might die, and you're over here like, you ain't gonna die. Y'all got 10 more episodes. You're fine. Go ahead and go in the dungeon. You good. No teleport crystals? Who cares? We still got the rest of this season. This is the Nabla skin glazing highlight in the shade Amnesia. This is easily my favorite highlighter I've ever tried. I have other highlights, of course, that I very much so neglect because this one's my favorite. Whenever those, like, either I finish them or whatever, I'm not buying them again. I'm just gonna keep buying this one and maybe other Nabla highlighters because, girl, do you see me? Look! Ah, I'm glowing! Currently, what I actually really like doing with my makeup is, and this is actually like a new to me kind of favorite. This is the Becca Aqua Mist Set and Refresh Powder. I actually really like this. I would say the first few times that I've used it, it definitely does have like a cooling effect on the skin, which is nice. That's not really why I wanted to try it, but it's mostly because it's not like a mattifying powder. Like, though I powdered my face, it's not like my skin's not like matte, if that makes sense. Like, I still have a bit of hydration and glow, and it doesn't look cakey. And that's what I wanted a powder to basically do. I didn't really care about it feeling like a spritz of hydration on your face. That wasn't really the selling point for me. It was mostly just, I wanted a powder that would be able to set stuff without making me look cakey or matte. That's all I wanted. What was I talking about? I was talking about Sword Art Online. And yeah, so I really like this show. I think it's really cute and stuff. The romance part of it I'm very indifferent about, like, in general. I feel like before I ever was in a relationship with literally anybody, like before I ever had a boyfriend, girlfriend, anything like that, I literally would romanticize the idea of having a partner so bad. And now that I'm someone who has been in relationships with people and know that they're not like anything you see in the movies, I'm very indifferent about it. Like, I used to be like, I'm such a hopeless romantic, as I would be on my little mini laptop writing fan fiction on Wattpad and dreaming about somebody even wanting to hold my hand. And I'm just over here like, you know, like, I don't really super hard ship characters. I think it's cute whenever, like, they seem like they would, you know, kind of go together and fit together pretty easily. I think that's cute, but it's not like I'm over here gunning for it. And that just could be like a sign of me having gotten older and stuff. I don't know. But I don't, like, get upset when characters don't end up together like I used to when I was younger, because I realized, like, you could very easily fit with somebody without, you know, needing to necessarily be in a relationship. Because sometimes you could fit with somebody and they just make a really good friend. That could 100% be it. Like, for Sword Art Online, I think Asuna and Kirito being together is cute. I'm not against it, but, like, it's one of those things where if they weren't together, I wouldn't be upset, because I think that they would make really good friends. Like, in the sense where Kirito was over here, you know, being pretty independent, not really relying on people, and, like, doing his own thing, but also not letting, like, the time of him being in the game go to waste. And I think that that is something that Asuna 100% could have benefited from, like, not even necessarily in a relationship wise. Ooh, can we talk about Avatar? I'm gonna talk about Avatar. So I finished Avatar, and that is also my feelings when it applies to Katara and Aang. I'm fine with them, like, not actually being together. I'm actually really fine with that. Because I feel like with the kind of adventure they went on, when you're in, like, near-death experiences with people, it's very easy to then, you know, be like, I could have died. This person has been here all along. We must be together. And I feel like that doesn't really have to be the case. Plus, they're kids, I assume, probably like tween age. So I'm really fine with them not being together. I think that would also make sense, you know, is like, even if you've had a childhood friend, that doesn't necessarily mean that y'all would make like the best couple. Yeah, you'd have a ton in common because thus you're friends. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm actually fine with them not being together. I'm pretty sure they wind up together because I've seen like photos of like Legend of Korra, and it shows like Aang and Katara having been together. So I'm pretty sure that they wind up together, which is cool. But like, I also didn't like, I wasn't gunning for a relationship. Like when they would kiss and stuff, it was like, oh, it's cute, I guess. And that's also kind of my feelings like with Sword Art Online too. I'm also, I watched the first episode again of Soul Eater. Also, you could talk about that. I really don't mind because I have watched that show as well. I'm over here just like nostalgically watching like animes that I've already seen before. Like I know how they go, and now I know how it's gonna end, and I'm over here just like, this is fine. This is good. I realized it's weird. Again, this is not the first time that I've watched the show, so I actually know how it goes and everything, but it's the first time in a while that I've actually watched the show, and it's weird. I don't think I realized the last time I watched it that it was this amount of weird, but it's odd. It's a show that's like, it's really good, but like, what the heck is happening? The art style alone is kind of like, could very easily dip into like creepy territory. And I forgot about that because it's been a minute since I watched it, but I have seen it already before. And like, as it started, I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? Of course, my favorite character, which should not be anyone's surprise on Soul Eater, is Kid Death. But we can all kind of guess why. Actually, I really like one of his guns. I forget her name because it's been a while. But the older sister. The older sister one is actually also one of my faves too, because I find her so fun. And the throwbacks of before her and her sister actually became like Kid Death's companions, basically, like became his weapons. Did they not look cool? What is fascinating about Soul Eater is the fact that it's got like darker themes in it. It's like but I didn't realize there's no cursing, because you know, of course, on Netflix the rating pops up on the screen showing you like PG-13 or whatever, and it was like PG-14, and I'm like, oh wow. But it didn't mark it for like cursing, I don't think. Fascinating. But yeah, and one of the markings was for fear. Which, when you actually look at the show, there's so many parts of the show that are like really weird and just hilarious. Like, for example, Maka's dad is like hilarious, but at the same time he tries to come off so serious. And like, even the intro, like some of the characters come off like, oh wow, they're like so badass, and then like you watch the actual show and no, they're weird. Not like a bad way or anything like that, but they're just weird. Probably not going to apply nearly as well as it would with a finger, and that's because Menagerie Cosmetics shimmer shadows apply best with a finger. As you can see, it's applying fine with a brush, but I feel like it would be so much better with a finger, which I will go back over like the middle part of it with a finger. I just wanted the edges of the part where I took that amount of time to cut the crease. I want that to kind of be crisp as possible. Yeah, so I've just kind of been going to the grocery store, but like trying to get like a ton of groceries up a staircase by myself is a task within and of itself, I'll tell you that much. There's just some things that I refuse to purchase until like I know like either I have somebody else that might be able to help me get up the staircase, or I could just have it delivered to me. A couch is at the top of that list. I'm ordering that online. I'm not even gonna try to go in a store and be like, I'm gonna buy that. No, because one, how's it getting in my car? Two, then how's it getting up the staircase? Not I, said a sheep. Not I. So you will have already seen it, but I'm actually gonna be finishing up another video editing wise that I filmed last week or so. And it's basically a thrift haul, but I wanted it to be interesting. Like in the sense where I didn't want it to just like sit down and just show like, these are these cool items I thrifted. You know, I wanted it to actually be like a little bit more entertaining than that. I'm thinking I may cut down some of the clips or cut out a lot of them because I want it to be closer to about 10 minutes long because I don't want it to be overly long, though there's a lot of pieces in it. But I wanted it to basically look like a runway show because I've been watching a ton of those recently. Because I'm very inspired by fashion, of course, and I love looking at all different kinds of fashion, even avant-garde fashion. So yeah, so I've been watching a lot of runway shows for that, and it's been really fun. It's been really, really fun. So I wanted my thrift haul to basically look like a runway show. So I was filming it in a way where it looks like I'm leaving the screen and coming back in, and going through that, oh my gosh, it takes a really long time. I will probably have already had it uploaded before this video actually goes up. So I do hope that you enjoy that video. And I hope you liked it if you've watched it. If not, I'll probably put it either in the end card or up in one of the eyes or something. But either way, I really hope you did enjoy it because I had a lot of fun filming it and a lot of fun editing it. The editing process just took longer than I think I originally anticipated it taking, considering I'm like, oh, each clip, like each piece is only gonna have like a few seconds. So I in turn thought it was gonna take me like a shorter period of time to actually go ahead and to actually like do it, like to edit it, but that was not the case at all. So yeah, but I had fun doing that one. I think I might do something if y'all liked that one, I may actually do a haul similar to that again. Malt by Anastasia Beverly Hills and e.l.f. liquid lipstick in the shade Coffee. I'm gonna take these two with a brown lip liner. And then so for this, I basically then take Mod on the inner part, and then here and here. Snack that in the middle. We're done. So this is today's look. This is not really like a full, like, this is not every day. This is my everyday base. But for eyeshadow, it's never the same. I don't really have like, I have a go-to look, but it's like way too simple and not entertaining for y'all to watch. I'm gonna be real with you, because it's usually just like, if I'm doing like a super basic look, it's just one eyeshadow, and it's usually something pretty like neutral or like slightly cool toned muted pink and a little bit of line across the lash, and that's, you know, it's not entertaining, but this was more fun to watch, I'm sure. I hope that you enjoy this. That's my knee. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Hope it was fun. I had a good time. I feel like we talked about a lot of everything and like nothing all at once. Lots of things about anime, some shows, makeup stuff. Let's see if I have any closing out remarks. No, head empty. Anyway, so again, thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video and hanging out with me today. I hope that you had fun getting ready with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you want to see more of me or follow me anywhere else online, my socials will all be linked down below. Follow me over on Instagram. My handle is at ugh.Kerria. I post daily content every single day. Like, it's either fashion or beauty content, but you see something every single day from me over on there, so give me a follow. And yeah, so in the meantime, between time, I really do hope to talk to you soon. Hope you're staying safe, taking care, being, you know, precautious, and not standing under 6 feet next to people. I don't know why that ever had to be a thing, like in the sense where I've never wanted to stand that close to a stranger. I genuinely don't understand. That makes zero sense to me, but whatever. And in the meantime, take care.